State of Michigan versus Lestino Hamilton, 26-01842. Yes, please.
Morning, Your Honor. Natalie Maycomber on behalf of the people.
Morning, Your Honor. Mike Shelton on behalf of Mr. Lucino Hamilton, who's present standing to my right.
Matter was scheduled for a preliminary examination, and my understanding is that there is going to be an unconditional waiver to circuit court.
That's correct.
Was there an offer at all? Okay, was there an offer?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that this case will be bound up to engage in global resolutions with some of the files that are already pending before the circuit court.
It's correct statement, Your Honor.
Okay. You, Mr. Hamilton, understand that you have the right to have a preliminary examination on the felony file here in the district court.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you wish to unconditionally waive your examination?
Yes, ma'am.
So that means that you will give up your right to have the prosecution meet their burden of probable cause. So they would have to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that a felony was committed and sufficient probable cause to charge you as the person who committed the felony. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
No one's threatening you to waive your exam. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
No promises being extended to you if you waive your exam.
No, ma'am.
Your find over date is going to be August 26th. That's not a court date for you to appear in court, okay? That's the date the circuit court's going to receive the district court file. Your next court date will be set after that. For a pre-trial, your attorney will be made aware of that. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
A bond is set at 2,010%. That will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
None from the people. Thank you.
None from the defense. Thank you.
Thank you. Mashnik is in custody in Jackson. Is that what's going on? Yes. So the bond, I presume. Yeah.
Yeah.
He posted his bond
That
here.
is my understanding. He was in, but I don't believe, based on my conversation with him, and I didn't know he had a hold up Jackson. So that was a surprise this morning. So I don't even know what it's for.
Says he was clear on local charges. What does that mean? Well, I don't know what that means. He was clear on local charges. Were these charges dismissed? We don't know about it? Was there a bond? It's not in here yet. If it was, I don't know if it's bond. You know what? If there's paperwork, not paperwork, but if not, it's not in JIS. You have to pay 4,000 cash, so you'll see it in JIS. No, it's not in here. I'm not sure what happened. Terry Canvas, this was Molly. Correct. Did we sign an alley for this? No, she just told us that it was an alley. There's another alley. State of Michigan versus Terry, Canvas Terry, that is 26-01915. Parents, please.
Your Honor, Natalie Maycomber on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson on behalf of Canvas Terry, standing to my left this morning, Your Honor.
Okay, my understanding that the people are going to nolly this matter.
Yes, Your Honor, it's my understanding based on the testimony that has previously been taken that the people will not be able to sustain their burden of proof, so this time would be simplified.
Have you signed a nolly already?
I have not, Your Honor.
We'll print one in just a moment. We'll get a copy once it's signed. You have any questions? Do you have any questions for the court?
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. Everybody talking kind of low. I kind of zoned out. I apologize.
I noticed.
Yeah, I got a lot on my mind. I apologize.
They're going to dismiss the case. We'll get you a dismissal in just a moment.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? Any additional matters?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Nothing else on behalf of Mr. Terry. I spoke to your staff. I understand that you may need to do an arraignment today. Is that something you're going to be able to do today?
Agreement for another case. Okay, since here, before the state of Michigan, 26-02262, have your appearance for this record, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson on behalf of Canvas Terry this morning, Your Honor.
Okay, this is a misdemeanor complaint that alleges that on or about December 6th, 2025, at Seymour Ave and Oakland Avenue, that you did allegedly make an assault or assault and battery upon a Whitney Callum, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship, that this was in violation of MCL 750.812. It's a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines. And a consecutive sentence may be imposed if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. You understand the charge? You have the right to have an attorney represent you throughout the pendency of this matter. You have the right to court-appointed counsel if you can't afford to hire an attorney. And you can make a request through the public defender's office. You do already have a public defender representing you on other matters. The court will note that you're making a request for public defender. Is that correct? Okay, and then the court will also enter a plea of not guilty, but will advise you that you have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will continue all the way to jury trial. You do have the right to hold a jury trial and the right to require that the prosecution prove your guilt as to the charge of domestic violence beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you, the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence that you believe show a defense to these charges, and the right to remain silent and not have silence be used against you. Do you have any questions about your rights? What's your home address? What's your address?
No, it's 4212 Poplar Lane, Mason, Michigan.
4212 Poplar.
Yeah, Lane, Mason, Michigan. I think the zip code is 48853.
And your phone number.
I don't. It's 517 701-9952.
517-701-9952.
9952.
Is set at 500 personal recognizance. There's a no contact order between you and Ms. Power. You have to have contact directly or indirectly with Whitney Hallam. Not to engage in any assault or threatening behavior. You have to travel outside the state without prior approval. You have to possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. You must report to all of your future court dates. You are currently scheduled for a pre-trial. September 8th at 10:30. September 8th at 10:30. Before me. You can't appear via Zoom for that, okay?
So free trial from here.
Correct, because you can appear via Zoom if you have video or you're not doing any, if you're in an environment conducive for court, okay? Do you have any questions at this time? And you get some minutes for the record.
None, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. John and Casey's downstairs. And he's on. So what? Like, he was in the break room.
I think Mr. Case is on Zoom for sentencing.
Okay, let's see, I do have a precinct report for Mr. Casey, review that with him.
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
Okay, yeah, corrections or additions need to be made.
None of the report, Your Honor. I do know, I think he does have a pending matter in front of Judge Forrest as well, Your Honor. And I do know from speaking to Mr. Case in regards to elocution, he does wish for a period of jail. He does want to get back to his mother who's out of state. He's got some health issues. They're recommending 90 days jail with credit for 86 days. I would ask that he be given the credit for the 86 days, no additional jail, and given his indigent status and as many fines and costs as possible. He does not want to be placed into probation.
Uh, 90 days in county jail with credit for 86 days, no waive the fines and costs, is all set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All set, Mr. Case.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Where's Charles Sorrells downstairs?
Yeah.
And what are we doing with Thomas? You can bring Sorrells up.
Sure, okay. All rise.
I'm not gonna object to 769. Oh, gosh.
You talk to folks in the organization.
That's me.
Okay, sorry.
No.
Appreciate that. Makes sense why you had another way to ask questions.
Only around. He was in here before.
See the Lakers. They're not even. Maybe it's the Cowboys. I mean, I figured the NFL team, I just wouldn't get the Cowboys. I mean, it makes sense when it's just big. The Rams are up there, so are the Giants. I would have figured the Patriots just didn't want that to pass, but. Yeah, the Giants and the Rams are up there. The Cowboys are kind of American. Yeah, the Giants. Yeah, it's a super team. Big worse. I've been with them. I definitely want to see. I've been to Pennsylvania, so the next one will come right. I really want to see the San Francisco stadium in new. Me. The stadium in I mean, every time I go, I feel about it, I look at it and go, and I never get a chance to go. I do the same thing when I get to going in October. I'm going to do something else and I'm taking over Sunday. To go, especially when you see something. And that's not cheap. The game. Yeah. I'm going down to the good all right. And actually I'm going to go. That's right. Hey, you only turn 50 minutes. Hey, Paul, you still going over the
I have no idea. I have 3 trials set that are going before that. I can't even think about it.
I'm good. That's all I wanted to know.
No, actually, no, it's not going. It's getting bumped by another one.
I'm good. That's all I need to know.
It's
Perfect.
getting bumped.
Yep,
Like,
that's all I
I
needed to know.
guarantee it.
That's all I needed to know. I
Because it's
thought-
Stokes, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Stokes,
yeah,
it's getting
yeah,
bumped.
that's all I needed to know. Perfect. That's all I wanted to find out, yeah, because I haven't even looked at that, it's not, I don't, because I got too many other things that are like in front of me.
Me too.
If we can't, we should bring the jury. That is,
That's the one that's bumping out.
yes, I know. I've heard everything I could hear about that. That's, wow.
You wanna know what I need to fill out from this meeting?
Yeah, the pretrial form.
Yep.
The third shelf, I think that was the city attorney one. For some reason.
Yeah. 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 It's not that. We'll see. Well, I'll talk to you.
the state of Michigan versus Charles Sorrell, 26-02016 FY. Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Natalie Maycomber on behalf of the people.
Good morning. Again, Your Honor, Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson on behalf of Charles Sorrell III, standing to my right today.
Okay, Mr. Sorrell is scheduled for a prelim. This is domestic violence, third habitual court. How are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. It's my understanding that the defendant will be entering into a plea today of a amended count 1 of domestic violence, first offense, 750.812. People will be dismissing the third or subsequent offense notice in this file.
Mr. Ferguson?
That's an accurate statement of what the plea offer is that Mr. Sorrell wishes to accept this morning.
Your advice of rights. I don't know if you should this out. What day is it come from here? 67. I think it's not. Yeah, 677. That was last week. Yeah, but you put the days on. Yeah, you put it in the wrong spot. You put it in here. You can stand up. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury. Yes. Okay. And that's your signature, correct? You went over these rights with your attorney? You understand these rights? You're willing to give these rights up so that you can plead guilty to the amended count 1 of domestic violence first offense? That means you're gonna waive your right to have a trial, and you have the right to jury trial, and the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty at your jury trial. You understand that? You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness that's called to testify against you. You have the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf, the right to present evidence that you believe show defense to the charge of domestic violence. You understand that? Okay, what's letting you get you to waive these rights? And promises being extended to you to get you to plead guilty. Are you on probation or on parole? You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to a current employer or put in a future job application. It also could have impact on where you can travel or get immigration status. You're aware of that as well, correct? I didn't hear you. As to domestic violence first offense, how do you plead? Actual basis.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sorrell, I want to turn your attention back to July 22nd of this year. Were you at 1400 East Kalamazoo Street? That's here in Lansing, Michigan, Union County? And you were with Sarah Chamay, is that correct? And who is Sarah Chamay to you? Girlfriend, okay. And you got into some kind of argument with her that day, is that correct? And what did you do to make that argument physical? Did you push her?
We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I scuffled. I got to scuffle.
What do you mean by you got into a scuffle? Were you the
Physical
aggressor?
altercation.
Were you the were you the aggressor? And she didn't ask to be assaulted, is that correct? And
Did
she
he
didn't-
got into an altercation? It's a physical altercation? You hit her? You grabbed her?
Grab her by her hands.
You grabbed her by the hands? You grabbed your hands for what purpose? She was arguing with
We
you,
were arguing back and forth.
okay?
I grabbed her hands in an aggressive way.
You grabbed your hands in an aggressive way
I grabbed her hands.
and did what with the hands?
Squad her hands.
You squeezed her hands? And that was not in self-defense, correct? Was that in self-defense? Any additional questions?
No, Your Honor.
No, you're right.
Court is satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea if I plea to be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made. Matter scheduled for sentencing October 1st at 9 a.m.
May we address bond?
He needs to meet with our probation department so that there can be a pre-sentence report prepared. You want to address bond?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I do believe bond is set in a cash and surety bond today, Your Honor. I think that was probably due to the charge. There's been a reduction down to a 93-day misdemeanor, Your Honor. Given that, I'd ask for a reduction to a PR bond, Your Honor. I think that's stable residence.
Bond was actually set at 10%. Amend the bond to 1,010%.
And people,
So it was 1,010%.
It was 3,010%. I just amended it to 1,010%.
Thank you.
Any additional matters for the record?
Yeah.
You want to squeeze my hands now? You're all set.
Judge, remember bringing
Yes, do we need to bring up Thomas? Sean is gonna get to you. Okay, what are we doing with Trotter? State of Michigan versus Brianna Trotter, 25-01739, appearance please.
good morning, Honor Natalie Mason on behalf of the people.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Ms. Crowder, who's present with me in this table.
Okay, this matter was set for a exam. This is for MDOP. I'm ready to stop after a collision. I think that there was an offer for malicious destruction of property, 200 to 1,000. Is that still the offer?
It is, Your Honor.
If I may, Your Honor.
You going to accept that today? Raise your right. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Yes. You can put your hand down. This is the advice of rights and free information sheet. Is that your signature?
Yes.
You went over these rights with your attorney, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about these rights?
No, ma'am.
Are you willing to give away or waive these rights so that you can enter a guilty plea to the amended charge?
Yes, ma'am.
So you understand, that means that you would waive your right to be presumed innocent until the people could prove you guilty by proving each element of the charges being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have the right to maintain silence in any trial. They can't use that silence against you. You have the right to seek, hear, or question any witness that's called to testify against you at your trial, and the right to have witnesses subpoenaed to testify on your behalf. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you willing to waive each of those rights, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone threatening you to do that?
No, ma'am.
Any promises of since you that you waive your rights and plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation or on parole at this time?
No.
You understand that by pleading guilty, the result in the conviction that you may need to report to your current employer, or you may need to put on a future job application. It also could have impact on where you could travel or get immigration status.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a deductible of $1,000.
That's correct, Your Honor. That has been provided to the court.
You are accepting responsibility for that, ma'am?
Yes,
And restitution. I need a restitution form. There should be some. Right? No problem. Okay, and so, as to the amended charge of malicious destruction of property, 200 to 1,000. How do you plead? Guilty. On factual basis, please.
Mr. Honor, on May 8th, 2025, were you in the area of 401 East Willard Avenue
yes,
and in the city of Lansing?
yes.
At that location, or rather in that area, did you cause some damage to a vehicle, a 2014 Chevrolet Malibu belonging to Leona Ford?
Yes, yes,
And clearly this vehicle does not belong to you, correct?
correct.
It belonged to this other individual, Ms. Wood. You caused some damage to that vehicle. And you knew you were causing that damage and you knew that it was wrong to do so. Right? In other words, it wasn't accidental, it was something you did.
It wasn't intentional, but I knew I shouldn't have went through because it was.
But why don't you tell us what you did?
So this individual was blocking me from going out of my apartment complex. It's a one-way in, one-way out situation. I asked her 3 times nicely, because she's an older lady, to, if she could let me out because I was on my way to work. She refused and told me to go around 3 times.
So you mean blocking with her vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
This was a no parking zone where she was parked also. So I pulled my side mirror in and attempted to go by, and the end result was me knocking off her side mirror.
That's not malicious. We failed.
I have a motion, Your Honor.
Not gonna change what she just told me. Anytime you're pulling in your side mirror and someone's waiting you to go by, how is that now malicious? She just told me that under oath.
She did just do that under oath, Your Honor. The information that I have is that just before that, the defendant that watched this, got back into her car, and went directly towards the vehicle.
She's shaking her head no.
No, they did not have that. It wasn't even a verbal disagreement. It wasn't an argument. It was nothing like that.
Your window, your mirror was pulled in.
My side mirror was closed.
No one's doing that if they're trying to, and who's trying to sideswipe their car?
And she could have simply just
You can have,
pulled up her bag.
is she a witness here?
She was, Your Honor. She has since left because she's going to be a plea.
Witness don't get to leave until I accept the plea. That's been the policy in this courtroom. Mr. Rowley knows that. I don't have a factual basis. I also don't have a victim here. What are we doing?
We are to ask for a second date. Mr. Riley and I were in contact earlier this week. Understanding this is going to be a plea that he did show up today to ensure that we had the restitution information. I'd ask the court to for a second date.
It'll be September 3rd. So I don't know. I feel like you need to go call your witness and tell her she needs to come back up here. It's 10:25. You can come back up here. You can have a seat. with Danton Elliott. We running an exam though?
No, it's gonna be a plea.
Oh. Bring it to me. This is the state of Michigan versus Jamar Thomas, 20-01907, 20-02904.
Yep.
Parents, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Natalie Mecklenburg on behalf of the people.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Aaron Schroeder on behalf of Mr. Thomas, on both files. Mr. Thomas is here, stands to my right.
Okay, Mr. Thomas was scheduled for an exam on both of these files. One is electronic communication interference, the other with a domestic violence, the other is an assault with intent to do great bodily harm and domestic violence. Second offense, how are we proceeding?
Thank you, Your Honor. There's been an offer extended by the prosecutor's office on both files to resolve them here today. And I believe we are going to be entering a guilty plea. I'm just finishing up I'm assisting Mr. Thomas in filling out the rest of the address part of the form here. So please copy it. I'll have it in a moment. Oh, 13. If I may approach, Your Honor. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. That part. Carbon copy. Okay. Oh, you'll need one. Is it all right if this counts for the both files, Your Honor? Or vice versa, he needs a separate one.
That's fine, he's only pleading to, right?
He's pleading to one charge in each.
This is pleading to, oh, here, I have it here.
Yes.
Then it's going to plead guilty to count 2 domestic violence and file number 20-02904 and count 2 domestic violence and 20-01907. The remaining will be dismissed. Says defendant to complete assessment prior to sentencing.
If possible.
The substance abuse assessment.
Yes.
Now, there's a third file that's being discussed as well as part of this. Should be written on there. It's 19-1572 SM.
To Sun 694A.
Need a now on the other. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury. Oh. So you understand the offer that was extended to you, and you wish to plead guilty to domestic violence in both files. You understand that in order to do that, you would have to waive all the rights listed here. That includes your right to the presumption of innocence. You're innocent until proven guilty. You can maintain your innocence. Take this to trial. Require that the prosecution prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that? You have the right to see or question any witness called to testify against you, the right to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf, and the right to remain silent and not have signs be used against you. You understand that? Anyone threatening you to get you to waive your rights. Any promises being extended to you in exchange for a guilty plea today. Okay, is he pleading guilty to the DP second, or are we amending this to first offense?
It'd be amended to a first offense.
Are you pleading guilty because you believe you're guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the amended count 2 DB first in file number 2904. How do you plead?
I'm sorry, if I may, on 2904, it's a habitual offender second offense, not a.
Oh, they wrote DV second right there.
I'm sorry. That should be a habitual offender second offense.
That is correct. Yes, I failed to catch that either. My apologies.
No, so you're pleading guilty to domestic violence in that file, correct? As to file number 20-01907, count 2 of domestic violence. How do you plead? Factual basis.
Thank you, Your Honor. And my apologies in the confusion here. What file are we starting with, Your Honor, with regard to factual
Whichever one
basis?
you want. Just let me know which one.
Okay, very good, Your Honor. I believe. I'm just trying to find where my file. There it is. I will be starting with the 20-1-01, pardon me, 907 FY. That's the case that originally has been charged with interference with electronic communication. Just so the court is aware, we're going to be the factual basis here is going to be one of the original charges with regard to the electronic communication. I believe, from my understanding, there was a domestic violence as part of that interaction, because he was originally charged.
The original charges to DV and both.
Yes, and he was originally charged on that file with electronic communication interference, and part of that factual basis for that charge, being asked to enter, essentially asked to enter the charge. The original charge he's pleading. He's laying the factual, let me try that again, Your Honor, I apologize. Laying the factual basis for the original felony charge, but asking that it be entered as the domestic violence charge.
Why is that?
Because I believe that there is a stronger basis here for that, as well as I believe as part of that, there was an unwanted touching that was part of
That's
that.
why I'm just trying to see if there's the factual basis going to obviously include domestic violence,
Yes, Your
because
Honor.
that was the original charge.
On the
Count two.
on count two, oh, yes, Your Honor. I understand what you're saying. Yes, that is correct.
Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas, on or about the date of June 13th, 2020, at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, were you at or near an address of 6923 Richard? And is that located in the city of Lansing County, Bingham, state of Michigan? And at that address, were you there with a Devon Strunk? And you and Miss Strunk, were you in a dating relationship? All right. And at some point on the 13th of June in 2020, the two of you got into a pretty heated argument. Is that correct? And at some point during that argument, she made an attempt to, you've been making some threats toward her. Is that correct? And at some point, she was attempting to call 911, correct? And at some point as she was doing that, you grabbed her the phone and you grabbed it out of her hand, or you snatched it from her, and there was some kind of contact when that happened, correct? And that was not, you were doing that out of anger, grabbing, swiping toward that phone, is that correct? And you inadvertently also hit her, but it was done in anger as part of the domestic violence, correct?
Yes,
And that was not done in any kind of self-defense, correct?
ma'am.
All right. And that was not a wanted touching from her in terms of touching anything that was in her possession, correct? All right. And Your Honor, I believe there's a factual basis at this time for the domestic violence, as it did involve him touching something that was in her possession as well as touching her. Thank you.
Any questions from the prosecution on that?
No, I'm not found. Thank you.
And then as to the other file, which is the later in time, well, later calendar wise in time, a 20-02904 FY, Mr. Thomas, back on September 22nd of 2020, a little before 5 o'clock in the afternoon, were you at or near an address of 6923 Richard Road?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that in the city of Lansing County, Bingham, state of Michigan?
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, were you there with a woman by the name of Devon Strunk?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a dating relationship with Ms. Strunk, correct? You actually have some children in common, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. During that interaction on the 22nd of September 2020, the two of you got into a heated argument. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And it had to do with her wanting you to leave the residence, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And at some point during that interaction, as you were arguing, you shoved her, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you did not do that in self-defense, correct?
No, ma'am.
You were doing that because you were angry and you were upset she wasn't letting you stay, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, if the court or the prosecutor, any other questions? Thank you.
Any questions from the prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
I'll be satisfied with the factual basis. I'll accept your plea if I am free voluntarily and intelligently made. Did you reckon here?
Yeah, sure.
We have on something other than this.
No, Your Honor, not that we are aware of.
Well, Your Honor, I believe his misdemeanor file, there's a no bond.
Oh. I keep forgetting.
Oh, the one that
2019.
I don't have.
I have been the knowledge of that information.
Flores, the Flores case.
That being said, Your Honor, I don't believe he's posted bond on the two files before Your Honor because the bond was denied on that.
That's correct.
There's a bond set, each file, $5,000 cash.
Any objection to immediate sentencing? Because your victim's already here.
The only objection would be that we were hoping to have a substance abuse assessment in place prior to sentencing. The reason for that is there is some concern that the defendant may be abusing specifically cocaine, but substances in general. And so we would like, if that's possible, if that is an issue, to be addressed within a probationary period in this case through some sort of treatment.
Is this case that's being dismissed substance abuse related?
It is not. However, that was part of the plea agreement.
And that was part of the plea agreement, was to, in order to have the deferral status intact for the 7694A as well. I believe a term of probation would be required as well.
In favor. It's a 2020 case. He said this took place 6 years ago. Correct?
That is correct.
You want me to put this out to sentencing in October? When I can put him on probation and have him go and get a substance abuse assessment.
Oh, Your Honor, I misunderstood. If
Yeah.
court, I apologize, and I misunderstood if that is the intention of the court, but if
she does.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if the court could
She can give me his criminal history while she does that. She can come forward.
where would you like us?
Leaving. She's gonna come up here to the stage.
Oh, I apologize. I apologize greatly.
Or she can go next to the prosecutor on the other side, either way, whatever makes her feel more comfortable. State your first and last name and spell both.
Devonstrom, DEVONSTRUNK.
You tell me what you want me to consider for sentencing.
I want him to, really, in all honesty, I told them I want him to be charged with the crime because he definitely did it. I was with Jamar for 16 years. There was a lot of times when I didn't report things that had went on between us. We have 6 children in common. I want him to get, I witnessed substance abuse. He won't admit it. I want him to get help for himself and also my children.
Thank you for taking this opportunity to be candid with the court as well. I can only imagine if you have 6 children, I think there were probably at the time you probably had 5. It says 5 in the affidavit. So 6 children, you would probably want the comfort of your children to be healthy and a part of their life if possible. So I appreciate you sharing that. Can we get his criminal history? You can make allocution. Thank you.
I will note that from the police report as well, and it seems from the statement from the victim here, that Mr. Thomas wants to be part of his children's lives. He wants to do well by them. The court has noted that these are from 2020. That does not mean to lessen the severity of the crimes at all, but I would note that it does not appear, with the exception of a ordinance traffic ticket that was pending currently with Judge Flores, it looks like it was from the city, from 2024, it does not appear that Mr. Thomas has had interactions, at least with police, to an extent that would have drawn to attention these warrants in that time period. And I believe he is trying to make sure he's doing well, to be able to be part of his children's lives. He understands that things did not work out with Ms. Strong. And I believe that's on him, and I think he would admit that. But at this point, he wants to be able to have a chance at probation and show the court, as well as his children, that bad choices don't have to define them. So I would ask the court to allow the term of probation and the opportunity to hopefully keep this off, these two convictions off its record. Thank you.
Does Mr. Thomas want to say something for himself?
I was at the time of these offenses, I was going through some things. I wouldn't say drug abuse, but I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna deny things, but that never deterred me from being a good father. She didn't ever tell y'all that I was always there for my kids and her. You know, we just didn't work out, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep my kids back in my kids' life. I ain't been on drugs in years. I work, I got a steady job that I was taken away from. I take care of my mom. My mom is blind. She know that as well. 71 years old. I look after her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not denying none of the stuff that we here for, but you know, I just want to be a part of my kids.
Explain to me how is it that you have fashioned in your mind that you can abuse and put your hands on the mother of your 6 children and that still constitutes you being a good father? Explain that thought process to me.
I'm not here to argue with, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
I mean, you definitely not here to argue with me. You just made a statement that you are a good father. So explain to me how that happens.
During the arguments, my kids wasn't around. I'm not trying to look for no specific way out. I'm just trying to just let you know.
Can I ask you a question? Can you explain it? You know why? There's no such thing. You can't be a good father when you are battering the mother of your children. That's not bad choices. Bad choices is if I were to go and get a bag of salad right now when there's a recall of salad because of salmonella. That's a bad choice. Beating the mother of your child is egregious activity. Not a bad choice. It's a lack of self-control. Not a bad choice. And I'm looking at your criminal history, which is quite lengthy. And although I have not yet seen a conviction for domestic violence, I've seen charges for domestic violence since 2008. I also do see a history of substance abuse on your criminal history. So I would hope that you wouldn't deny that there's an issue there. You would, if you're going to be a good father, you would first need to be good to yourself. You have to take care of your body, and that includes what you're putting into your body. Poison and things that alter your reality and your mindset and your ability to control yourself won't make you healthy or won't put you in a position to be a good father. In addition to that, if you're unhealthy, you can't make decisions that help you further and foster a good relationship to co-parent with the person who has bore 6 children for you. I can't even imagine bearing 6 children for someone. That's a heavy load. She's carried a whole legacy for you. A whole tribe. And she deserves to be honored in that regard, regardless of whether or not you're going to get along. People don't always get along. You can disagree with your words. You can walk away. You're a grown man. You have to have control over your hands and understand that women in general, whether they had your children or not, should be protected by men. That is what God ordered you to do, to be a protector. you get in control of your emotions, but you first probably got to get in control of what you're putting into your body. I am going to, it appears based on this, he would be eligible for 769.4A. I don't see any prior convictions for domestic violence, just a previous charge that was dismissed. So I will grant 769.4A. You will do a term of 12 months probation. I am going to order that you undergo a substance abuse assessment and follow all recommendations.
And that is as to both files, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
That is as to both files, Your Honor.
Correct.
Thank you.
And that will include any outpatient treatment if it's needed. You say you are employed? Where?
Magna Dexus. My whole highway.
You'll maintain your employment, provide evidence of that to our probation department. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to purchase or possess alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to use or possess kratom. You will report to random preliminary testing and your analysis testing. You have to pay the cost of that. You're not to be at any bars or nightclubs. Do you have any questions so far? Is there a family court order at all, or is there an issue with, I don't know how you all want me to address this, no contact order.
There is a child court order in place. We just always, usually were able to just.
How do you want me to proceed with the no contact order?
Sure, I would ask that you keep the no contact order in place, but allow third-party contact for the children. I believe Ms. John's sister, I'm sorry, can't actively go between the two parties until.
That would certainly be something Mr. Thomas is more than happy to hear that to be done. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll continue the no contact order. Third party will be allowed for the purposes of childcare only. Let's see. I said I was going to grant 769.4A, so that will be granted in order to do anger management group and batterers intervention. It's $30 per month oversight fee for each month of probation that you're on, so that's $360. $75 crime victim rights fee. $50 state minimum cost that will be assessed in both files. Oh, I just want to know that this is both files. It's going to run for term. You're not eligible for early discharge because you are on a term of probation for assaultive actions. So you don't need to go over that. Do you have any questions at this time? So I think the case that it was holding you is now being dismissed as part of this global resolution. You did have a bond of 5,000 cash surety. We'll amend that to PR so you can get back to work because you gotta pay for the 6 children. What are your work hours? Sir?
I work Sunday through Thursday, 6 o'clock to 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, you need to report to our probation department in person no later than, I'll give you till Tuesday at 11 o'clock, okay? Do you have any questions? Any additional matters for the record?
None from the people, thank you.
Just, because I may have I may not have heard it, is a separate advice of rights going to be placed, a copy of the one that we submitted to the court placed in each file?
A copy is fine.
Very good, Joanna, thank you.
I just put the file number on one.
Okay,
Both files is on there, both file numbers, because it doesn't have any file number.
yes, I was in a hurry.
No worries, I'm just gonna put both of them on.
Very good, and just want to make sure the file was complete, nothing further.
Thank you, you're all set.
You're welcome. Take care. And don't forget you got court coming up in the 1st of September for that traffic file. Okay. All right.
Judge, you want to show your brother?
Yes, please.
Would it be possible for me to get a copy of that Raleigh once it's signed during the 2019 file?
I remember where I put it. Did I slide it over there and took it already?
Oh, that's kind of scary.
Why it was being valid. Mix all this stuff up. For the skills of that one.
Just on that. 2019 file is contempt hearing.
Yes,
Can we cancel this part? Okay, I thought so, but I was like, thank you much.
no problem.
I don't know if they're gonna give me a problem with granting 76925.
We're at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. They'll let you know.
They've done that before.
I was just gonna say, if not, that we could have easily have amended one count, yeah, I guess, but. I must have passed that, over that way, because I don't have it. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, you're just.
Here.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Oh, she did. We just got a meeting. We're picking on Monday. After Tuesday. Right, no. Right. 10 to 5 on Thursday. 30. Nobody on Friday. Because it's not closed. And I have this is the first trial that I've ever had in my life. Everybody has called and said, what about this consolidated? Perfect. Every single person.
Other nominations? I do.
So.
I'm like, oh, I'm out of my realm right now. And so then they're like, keyword. I have no idea.
No.
I don't know what this puzzle means.
Time served. And you said we're going to. This explains to me. So in your complaints, they listed for each other. To replace. So there's something. I'm 36 years old, never been in a situation like this before. So that should tell you a lot there. I mean, one sort of impact that. Oh, so it's, oh, that's the name of the place. Mary. Mary Shea. She's got a pretty good reputation. Pricey.
I just forwarded you. He did that. It was just like an hour ago. Thank you for sticking to that. He's in a room. Fun. I watched that prelim and like
Look into it. But I
this
think
is
that's
new.
one good thing about incarceration, I was able to collect my thoughts and
I'm confused.
and
And
identify
officer
what
is confused
what I
also
actually need to
on
go
my
after
officer's
and what I need to
violation.
go against. In regards to this civil complaint.
Yeah.
It allowed me to really, I've been, it's something I've been.
Like
prior
it
to
was
this,
weird. I
but
need to
it
look
allowed
about
me
like
to
why
focus on
we,
it, kind of
because I've never
organize
seen
my
us charge
complaint. It's
that.
So large. it's going on for the last
Does he
3.5
have a
years.
history?
It's kind of this big thing.
Be Jeremy's trial, so.
When I had time to sit down with him, I realized how much stuff I've been, like how much I've been on. I know it's all.
Like brought it.
Really, really hot situation, very new. Essentially, yeah. So I gotta work that out.
All right.
Elliott, correct? Okay, State of Michigan versus Danton Elliott, 26-01039, appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jennifer Lawton on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender John Lee on behalf of Danton Elliott.
Okay, this matter was scheduled today for a preliminary examination. This is for stalking minor charges. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, this is going to be a misdemeanor plea to an added count 4 of disturbing the peace. In exchange, the counts 1 through 3 would be dismissed. People have no objection to immediate sentencing with credit for time served.
We proceed on 13th or July 15th. I'm confused. Um, This letter came from you, Mr. Elliott. Was this a letter that you sent back in July?
I believe so, yes.
It says date on the 13th. I don't know why they just stuck this in the file if they received it in July, but it sounds like that's what happened.
Is it typed?
It's not, it's handwritten.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm.
Did you all get a copy of this letter?
Yes, sure.
I did not.
Oh, we'll make sure you get a copy. I didn't either, so it's quite lengthy. It's double-sided. Okay. And let's see. You're going to plead guilty to disturbing the peace? Is that what? That's
Yes, sure.
correct? Okay. Was there any other terms, or you have the paperwork? No objection to credit time served. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Put your hand down. Okay, you have the right to proceed to trial, the right to jury trial, the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty at trial. You also have the right to remain silent at trial, and they can't use silence against you. You have the right to see, hear, or question any witness called to testify against you, the right to have witnesses subpoenaed that would testify on your behalf, and the right to present evidence or defenses to the charges being brought against you. You understand each of those rights that you need to give away?
Yes.
Okay, is anyone threatening to get you to give these rights away to plead guilty to the added count?
No, ma'am.
Any promises being extended to you in exchange for a guilty plea to disorderly? you're not on probation or parole at this time, correct?
No.
You understand that a guilty plea could result in a conviction that you may need to report to your employer or put it on a future job application. It also could have impact on where you can travel or get immigration status. You understand that?
Yes.
As to disorderly person, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Is that because you believe you're guilty?
It's to,
That's a very direct question.
personally, I don't necessarily think what I did was wrong, or against the law, but I've spent 4 months incarcerated unlawfully, in my opinion, and I feel like I need to get out and get back to my family and my career. So I'm accepting this to proceed forward.
What did you do?
Well, according to
Not according to, you tell me what you did.
According to the legal mill, I was at the Big Ten party store. I was behind the Big Ten party store. I hit from what I would call hit the button, like the button you hit, for the door alarm to see if anyone answered. No one answered. And then shortly after that, a vehicle pulled up on me. About 4 to 5 white males threatening me and calling me out for being at the Big Ten party store. And
You said Big Ten party
Yeah.
store?
yeah,
They were
so
threatening you for being at the Big Ten party store?
Yeah. I was behind the store. I pressed the button to see if anyone would open the door. No one would open it up, and then a truck pulled up on me and threatened, and it was a group of men and threatened to essentially attack me and making a bunch of accusations. I managed to get away from the situation, go back to my property. They followed me to my property. They called the cops, and I was arrested. So.
My understanding of the facts, Your Honor, is that he was checking the doors behind the Big Ten party store, checking to see if he could get an entry, just disturb the people in the store who witnessed it on camera.
This is a
Your Honor,
party store?
That is correct.
If I could inquire. Mr. Elliott, were you in public at that time?
Yes.
And did your interactions with those individuals cause a disturbance to the public around you?
No, because there was only me and them.
And those were members of the public, correct?
Correct.
And at some point you ended up back in your neighborhood, correct?
Yes, I went back to my house.
Okay, and there were other members of the neighborhood there,
Not at my house, no, they followed me there,
and you were still in public,
at my house,
in the street?
on my property.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, I thought we were gonna plead to the Big Ten party store for.
Yeah, based off what he said, he thought the store was
Based
open,
on
he's
what
ringing
he
a
said,
bell,
that would not-
and then some 6 people jumped out of a car and threatened him. Sounds like he would be a victim if that was the truth.
If that was the truth, that would make him a victim, Your Honor, and I would not accept the plea based on those facts either.
Well, I can't speak on a factual basis. And then everything else sounds like it took that place on his private property. So how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, at this time, people would move to dismiss the file. If there is a need to reissue, we will look at it at a later date.
Okay, we'll get your knowledge. The case is dismissed without prejudice.
Thank you. Pick it back up. Okay.
You put it together, yeah. I did, but got it. Yeah, it's all coming together. I like the new one. Huh? I like the new one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. Okay, let's. This is done. Look at your victim to appear. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Your
Thank you,
Honor.
Ms. Martin. See here. I don't know what this says. Williams has a phone case.
No.
It's the same victim.
Yeah.
Now we want to resolve the cases. Now that we are losing the cases. Got it. Okay, on the record, in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Brianna Trotter, 25-01739.
Morning, Your Honor. Natalie Maycomber on behalf of the people.
Jacob Riley on behalf of Ms. Trotter, who is next to me.
Okay, let's see, this matter, was originally charged as an MDOP, 1,000 to 20,000. The plea failed due to the statements elicited during a factual basis. So we're continuing to examine this time. Any preliminary matters?
People.
No, Your Honor.
You can have a seat now. You probably would.
Take your answer, Pollyanna.
Can I have you raise your right hand first? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give is the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You can have a seat. Okay, there is a microphone that's in front of you. The lady behind you uses that microphone so that the recording system will pick up everything that's stated in the courtroom. It was not going to amplify your voice at all. So for my benefit, because we have some fans going in this class, that could you keep your voice loud?
Yes, ma'am.
Then also all of your responses should be verbal, no head nods, head shakes, like yes or no questions. If you forget, which is common, we'll ask you if it's a yes or no.
Okay.
If any of them say objection, you have to stop speaking. Doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It just means that I have to make a ruling on that objection. And then I will tell you if you're allowed to answer their question or not.
Okay.
You state your first and last name and spell both.
Leona Foot, LEONAFOOTE.
Thank you, counsel. You can proceed.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I want to bring your attention to May 8th of 2025. On that date, would you add an address that is 401 East Willard Avenue?
Yes,
Is that in the city of Lansing,
yes,
Ingham County?
yes.
And why were you at that address on that day?
I pick up my granddaughter every morning to go to school and I drop her off every afternoon after school.
Now, the address of the 401 East Willard Avenue, is that a home, an apartment, or something else?
It's an apartment complex that my daughter lives in with my granddaughters.
With the apartment complex and how the property is set up, can you describe to the court what the entryway, driveway, parking spaces, and things like that parking area is like?
Yes, there's only one way in and one way out. So I always try to go in, turn around and come back. And when I go in to turn around, I always look to make sure there's people not getting in their cars or cars so that I can make sure I get over and up. And I seen the lady sitting here getting in her car, so I knew to get close to the building so that she could get around me in case she came out before my granddaughter come out.
Before we get to that part, I want to back up a little bit. Are there parking spaces available
For them, yeah, they're numbered for, I guess, their apartments. Their spot is by their apartment number, I guess.
And when you pick up your granddaughter, first of all, I don't need her name, but how old is she?
She's 18 now, but she was 16 at the time,
Okay.
16 and a half, almost 17.
And when you pick her up, does she, let me ask it this way, the way the apartments are set up with the building, is there one main entrance into the building itself, or does each apartment have its own entrance?
Well, it's one, I thought, but I just recently learned they've got one at the other end, but there's no parking or entrance to go in and out of the street, or I guess just to get to their cars.
If I understand correctly, there's an entry to get into the building, and then there's doors to get from inside.
Yes,
Okay, so your granddaughter comes out of the building itself and meets you.
right at the door, the entrance door, because I pull right up, so she comes out the door and gets right in my car, because I try to stay as close to the building so anybody coming in and out can go through. Because going in and out of there, I've seen them pull up, drop the door, pull out in there, which I'm sure they all do because it's easy for them and with only one way in and out.
Sure.
So I always try to be courteous.
There's no question.
So when you, the entryway, this driveway in, is it wide enough for two vehicles?
Yes, if you're over far enough, because I've been over there and a big SUV has went by me. I've been over there and little cars have went by me, but I don't try to block. I try not to block it if I know somebody's coming.
Sure. So on this date, I think you'd already stated that you saw an individual going out to their vehicle.
Yes,
Is that coming from the apartment building and then going into their vehicle? Is that what you mean?
I only seen her out getting
Outside.
in her bit. Yeah, I didn't see her coming out of the building, just getting into her vehicle when I come around the back.
Okay.
and around.
And so that made you cognizant that somebody may be trying to exit?
Yes.
Then you said that you parked as close as you could to the door of
Right.
the building itself. Did that leave enough room for another vehicle to pass by you in that way?
Yes.
Now, as you're waiting for your granddaughter to come out, what if anything happened at that time?
The lady sitting here is pulled up behind me and got out of her car. First she honked, I got out of the car and she said, move. I said, I seen you coming, so I got over so you could get by for just a second. My granddaughter's coming out. And she screamed at me, no, I'm gonna report you to the landlord. So I told her, go ahead. And she got mad and she said, watch this, and got in her vehicle. And she stayed over until she got to my driver's side door where our faces were face to face. And she just swerved her car into my car, ripped my mirror off, went all the way down my front corner panel and took off. And I sat there for a
I'm
second.
gonna stop you right there real quick. Before, first of all, let me be clear. You said the lady sitting right here. Can you just, the person that was driving that vehicle, you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Can you describe where she's sitting in an article of her clothing?
yes, she's got the gray sweater and the black turban.
And prior to this date, had you ever met this person before?
No, just seeing, passing, picking up my granddaughter and stuff, like people getting in and out of their cars, and that's the only time I really see her.
And you had a good amount of time face to face with her on that day, is that correct?
Yes,
And then after this incident happened, I'm gonna jump forward a little bit,
Okay.
were you given a photo lineup from police?
yeah, it was probably 6 months or longer after it happened.
And you were able to identify that same driver that you saw in that photo lineup?
Yes,
And that's the same person that you see sitting there?
yes.
At this time, people would move, would ask the court to recognize identification of the defendant.
Any objection to identification?
No objection.
Identification is noted.
Thank you. And before I forget to ask you, what kind of car were you driving on that day?
I have a Chevy Malibu.
And what, you know what year it is?
It's a 2014.
Okay. Now, I want to go back to, you said once that the defendant, when she was driving her vehicle, the next room, she seemed to be getting by and then seemed to purposely veer towards you?
Yes, and I think she did that because when she got in her car and said, watch this,
I'm sorry.
she.
She
after
can't tell
got-
me which someone else saw.
Right,
Prior to the defendant driving, did you see her pull any of her side mirrors in or do anything like that?
no, she jumped right in after she told me, watch this, and
Yeah.
took right off.
And when you said it was until the point where you almost were face to face with her, did you look at her when this happened?
Yes, I turned my head facing her as she's going by.
And did she make eye contact with you as well?
Yes,
And then that's when she
She
swerved towards your
swerved
vehicle.
into my vehicle, my driver's side door.
Now, after that happened, you said your mirror fell off.
Yes,
Maybe some of the silly questions, but could you feel the impact when it happened?
yeah, a little bit. It was more noise than impact.
Okay,
So I was kind of shocked and sat there for a minute, like,
sure,
not sure what just happened.
sure. But you were clear in the moment based on having that the two vehicles had collided.
Yes, because as I'm sitting there trying to gather myself, I see my mirror dangling, and that's when I gathered my thoughts and decided I had to follow her because I wanted her plate number.
I'm gonna get there in just one second,
Okay.
okay? Sorry, I gotta ask you a
Sorry.
couple questions. I know it's a little weird about dynamic here. So the collision happens.
Yeah.
You're still parked.
Yes,
The defendant leaves.
yes,
When, did you see which way she left out of the parking lot?
yes, she went to the left to Cedar Street.
Okay. And Cedar Street is at the first street when you turn out of the parking lot?
Yes,
Okay. So ultimately, what did you decide to do in that moment?
I decided my granddaughter hadn't come out yet, so I wasn't gonna get away from destroying my car when I didn't do anything wrong, so I followed her. And on the way, I called 911 and I told them what was going on and that I was behind her, and this is her car, her make, her model, her license plate. And I asked them why there were such ugly people in the world.
Now, as you were catching up to the defendant and making the 911 call, can you describe what her driving was like in that moment?
Yes, she seen me at the stop sign right behind her because she had to wait for the traffic at that time of morning. And when I pulled out behind her, she was swerving through cars and that trying to lose me, but I wasn't gonna let that happen, even if I had to follow her all the way to work.
So
I was gonna follow her all the way to work.
once you were able to obtain her plate number and you called 911 and you gave them that information, did you continue to follow her at that point?
No, I turned off and went back home and found my granddaughter walking over to my house, thinking I left her behind.
And again, you hadn't met this person before this had happened.
No,
Ultimately, did you have to get your vehicle fixed?
yes,
And what was the estimate that was provided to you as far as what the amount would be to fix the damage to your vehicle?
without looking at the paper again, because it's been a while, I think it was over $1,900, but I only paid my deductible,
So the actual damage was about $1,900, but
Yeah.
what was your deductible?
$1,000.
And then did you pay that $1,000?
Yes,
The damage that was repaired, was any of that damage on your vehicle prior to the collision caused by the defendant?
no,
And that's your vehicle,
yes,
the Malibu?
yeah.
When the defendant said, "Watch this" to you, can you describe what her demeanor was like in that moment?
She was angry and that I didn't move when she told me to move.
And again, your vehicle stayed stationary this entire time?
Yes,
Did you threaten her in any way prior to this happening?
no,
Did you have any weapons or anything like that on you?
no.
That's what's here.
Ms. Court, I think you said that you pick up your granddaughter at this apartment on a regular basis, is that right?
Yes,
This was a little over a year ago.
yes,
Was this something you did every day? Or?
yep, every day during school time. And then again, last year until she graduated, so I don't have to go over there for school this year.
So is it that you pick her up in the morning
Yes,
And then-
and drop her off in the afternoons.
after school, I'm assuming?
Yes,
And I think you said that there's this parking lot for the apartment complex and there's one way in and out, right?
yes,
Is there any signs on or around that driveway indicating where the parking is allowed in that area?
yes, but I was in my car, so if I really had to move, I would have moved, but because I seen her coming, I knew there was enough space. And they
Just to-
all
Just to be
do it.
clear, there is. you're
There
saying
is a sign saying something about people who are not supposed to be there or something that PJ told me. we'll tow them out of there. I don't know exactly the verbiage on the sign, but it does say. Which I'm assuming.
In other words, it's clear that it's not a parking spot.
No, and I wasn't like parked. My car wasn't shut off. It was running. And I was in it.
So you were driving I think you said a Malibu,
Yes.
right? 2014 Malibu.
Yes.
Do you know what kind of vehicle Ms. Trotter was driving?
A little SUV. I don't know like the make without, like I said, looking up everything again, but I know it was a little green SUV
It was an SUV type vehicle or
type
something?
looking, yes.
Do you know how wide this driveway is?
No, I haven't taken a measurement,
Okay.
measured it.
You ever had difficulty with people trying to drive past there?
No, she was the only one. There's been, like I said, people come through in this big white SUV, which I know the lady that drives it. She's passed through there with me in there. I've passed through there with people parked there getting their groceries out.
So
There's times where they do park where you can't get through and we wait out on the road till they move so you can get in and out. But other than that, no, there's never been an issue until that one day. And there hasn't been an issue after that either.
So as you were parked there, you said she pulled up behind you?
Yeah, but not like right up behind me. She pulled up to the edge of the building. I'm up here at the door. She pulled up at the edge of the back of the building and got out of her car.
Was she sort of around the corner from you, or is she?
No, right behind me, just at the
Some
back of
distance.
the edge of the building here. I'm at the door here.
And did you say that she got out of her vehicle?
Yes,
And did you get out of your vehicle also?
I got one foot out and stood like this and told her that there was enough room to get around, yes. And then got back in my vehicle.
What did she ask you to do, or what did she want?
She didn't ask me to do anything. She yelled at me to move,
She told you to move,
told me, demanded me, whatever, but didn't ask me.
but you didn't move.
I told her just a minute. No, I didn't move.
So at some point she gets back in her vehicle, correct?
Yes,
And you got back in your vehicle.
I was already in mine before she got back in hers.
Then you said she said something,
Yes,
and then she got in her vehicle. Did she do anything else before she started driving again that you saw? Did she fold in her mirror? Or
no, she didn't. She got in her vehicle and pulled off. Round me, smashed me, and out the lot, and kept going. She never stopped. She never pulled her mirrors in. She didn't do anything but scream at me and jump in the car.
So as she's pulling past you, did she immediately make contact with your vehicle? Or?
No, not till she got eye contact to the driver's side door where I was sitting.
So in other words, your vehicles were sort of aligned. They were next to each other at that point.
At that point, yes, after she got in her car and started headed out, when she told me, watch this, she pulled over, headed out, and I thought, okay, everything's gonna be fine because she's leaving. But instead, when she could make eye contact with me, that's when she swerved into my car.
Did you notice any damage to her vehicle?
Yes, I've got pictures of it. The same day I got pictures of mine.
So what damage was done to her vehicle?
She had my white paint down the side of her driver or her passenger side.
Is there any physical damage other than paint? Like
Of
a mirror
her
damage?
car or my car?
To her car specifically.
Well, I don't know how much because her car already had some dents in them. So I just seen the white paint. So I knew that was, plus that's the side that she would have hit me.
So then she's driving away from you. At what point did you decide you needed to follow her? Was that immediate?
Probably about 2 seconds after I sat there and was like, whoa, what just happened? And then I looked and see my mirror and I was like, oh, no way. And then I threw it in gear and took off behind her, yes.
Okay. What was your goal in doing that?
Get her plate number and her vehicle make. I called 911 the minute I pulled out behind her.
Okay. So you called 911. You gave them her vehicle and everything.
Yes, I gave them everything, the same thing I just told you and the same thing.
Did you have any contact with her after that?
No, I haven't even, other than passing through picking up my daughter or whatever, I've seen her drive through in the parking lot and that, but we've not spoken, not eye contact, not grocery store running, nothing, no.
Enough for the questions.
I just asked some questions because I just am not sure how this is set up. What mirror was
My
damaged?
driver's side.
Your driver's side. Okay, so explain to me again how this is set up. There's an apartment building.
Yeah.
And you're parked.
I'm parked. So here's the building. This is the back of the building. This is the front of the building. The door is right here. I come around, turned around and pulled up right
Okay.
here.
So you're pulled that way and
Like
then.
there's no, I pulled up so close that nobody could get
Ma'am,
past the
just answer
building.
my questions.
Okay.
You can only answer the questions. You like to give a narrative, I see. My next question is, go back to your hand demonstration for me and show me which direction the defendant is coming.
We're both pointing this direction.
Okay, so she is on the other side. It would be her passenger side next
So-
to your driver's side,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, that makes some more sense to me now. And so she pulled up behind you, honked, and you told her to wait.
No, I told her I left enough room for her if she needed to get around right away. But my granddaughter was coming out, so I could move in just a minute. I didn't tell her no.
But I'm just going back to what you said the first time. When she honked, told you to move. You told her to wait, your granddaughter's coming.
Well, that's not what I said, but
Well, it's what you said, because that's why I wrote it down.
okay.
So what did you say?
I told her just a minute, my granddaughter's coming, or I left enough room so you could get out. If not,
So you're not out the car at this time. You just stayed out your window?
yeah,
Okay, and she has her passenger window down?
no, she's out.
Oh, she's out the car.
She's out of the
Got it.
car, standing next to her car.
Okay, and then why didn't you move?
Because my granddaughter was coming and I don't know, maybe if she asked me nicer, I don't know. I just didn't want to move and my granddaughter think that I left, but then I ended up leaving her anyway.
Redirect.
Thank you. Just very briefly, Ms. Cook, going back to when you're parked next to the building, the way that this setup is, if you were to have moved, you had to move forward, is that towards the main road?
Yes,
Is there a waiting area up there at all?
no,
So to move, you would have had to run out to the main road?
yes,
And then turned around somewhere to come all the way back?
and come back in.
And when you get, so you were picking up your granddaughter regularly?
Yeah.
How does she know that you're there to pick her up?
I text her from my house because I live across the street and I tell her I'm on my way.
And does she respond to you?
Yep,
And on that day?
yes, I mean, sorry.
That's okay. On that day, did you text her and say, hey, I'm coming in to pick you up?
Yes,
And did she respond to you?
yes,
Typically when that happens, it's the every school day thing, did she come out within a minute of you getting there?
she's usually a couple minutes, because when I text her and tell her she's got to lock the door, then there's 2 doors they come through to come out.
So when you're saying, hey, my granddaughter's coming right out, it's your belief that she's literally
Getting
walking
her
to
shoes
the,
on, locking the door and coming out, yes,
and in order to move out of the way, you'd have had to move on to the main street, turn around and come all the way back.
yes,
Okay. She had parked there before,
every day,
and larger vehicles in the defendant's vehicle had been able to go by you with no issue.
correct.
And there was no issue to the back, or no damage to the back of the vehicle.
No,
It's just when you made face-to-face contact.
correct.
Thank you.
I asked questions, so I'll allow you to cross based on my question.
So as you're parked by this building, am I correct in understanding that the passenger side of your vehicle is close to the building?
Yes,
So So there's the driveway, you're on the right side of it from the way you're facing,
Yes,
I suppose. And your passenger side is up against the building.
yes,
Did you leave enough room for your granddaughter to get in the passenger side?
yes.
Okay. So in other words, you're not flush against the building.
I am flush. The only thing that was at the door was my car door. So nobody could come out besides her, like to get around my car. She locked the door and get right in my car door.
But was she getting in the right side of the car, the passenger side?
Yes,
So there must have been enough room for her to open the door.
the apartment door, my door, yeah, there's enough room to open the door, but I'm right up so that she goes right from the apartment door into my car door.
Interesting. No further question.
Just on that. Is it correct in understanding there's a vestibule? When I say vestibule, you know what that means?
Sort of.
So like an inlet where the door is, to where you have the side of the building, kind of an inlet where the door is.
Yes.
And then the side of the building.
Yes,
So is that how the apartment building door can open?
yes.
She can get into your vehicle without crashing into your vehicle.
Yes.
But the building itself is flush to where somebody couldn't walk past.
Yeah,
her.
it's kind of like this. It's a
Okay. Like an
dipped in,
inlet, dipped
yes.
in. Okay, thank you. That makes more sense. Okay.
Any other questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may be excused. Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, is the defense calling witnesses today?
No, you're.
Please proceed to argue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, based on the testimony today, we heard that on May 8th, 2025, at the area of 401 East Willard Avenue, Miss Leanna Foote was there to pick up her granddaughter at an apartment building complex in which when she was pulling into the complex, she stated that she went around to the back of the complex where the parking is, kind of did a loop around, came back to that driveway in order to face that main road to be able to leave. When she was making those movements, she noticed, she identified the defendant to be not by name, but by sight, getting into her vehicle and assumed that that person would be exiting as well. And so with that in mind, Ms. Foote parks her vehicle as close as she can to the building, leaving only the room for the doors to open in that vestibule area. We heard testimony that when Ms. Trotter, the defendant, came upon Ms. Foote, she parked behind her, honked the horn, got out of her car and demanded Ms. Foote to move, and Ms. Foote explained, hey, my granddaughter was coming right out, you need to wait a minute, or otherwise there's enough room for you to get behind. Ms. Foote did provide some context to the court that she had done this on a daily basis, that she drove her granddaughter to school every day, that vehicles larger than the defendant had been able to go by with no problem, and that there was enough room for this defendant to go by if she wanted. That the defendant, the demeanor, I asked Ms. Foote what the defendant's demeanor was, she said she was very angry and said, watch this, got into her vehicle, started to pass Ms. Foote's vehicle, and when they got face to face and made eye contact, this defendant then angled her vehicle towards Ms. Foote and sideswiped the vehicle, damaging her front quarter panel and her mirror. Most importantly, Your Honor, I think the testimony shows that this defendant then leaves the area. She doesn't stop. She's aware that a collision had just happened, or should have been aware that a collision had just happened, doesn't stop, continues on to Cedar Street, and that when the witness tries to get her license plate, she described the defendant driving and swerving in and out of traffic, trying to get around vehicles after she saw the victim was behind the stop sign. The victim testified that she only went after her to get the license plate so she could be able to describe that to police, so she called 911. And that once she got that information as far as license plate, make and model of the vehicle, she then disengaged and went back home where she ran into her granddaughter. Based on the testimony, Your Honor, the statement of watch this, the swerving at the time that eye contact was made, the fact that the defendant then leaves the scene and then is clearly trying to evade the victim as she's swerving in and out of traffic, we ask the court find this over on the charges that are contained in the complaint.
Thank you, Mr. Rowley.
Your Honor, Ms. Foote by her own admission was stopped in an area that is marked as not being a parking space. It's a place where people are not supposed to leave their vehicle or keep their vehicle stationary because it is the only entrance and exit from that parking lot. My client lived at that building, parked in that parking lot every day. I think, as we heard from Ms. Foote, she demanded that she get out of the way so she could use that driveway. If there was space for her to get past safely, in her opinion, why would she do that? There'd be no reason to demand that she move. Ms. Foote refused to move. I don't know why, but she wouldn't move. My client then got in her vehicle, did not ram into her or drive directly into her. The fact that she did not make contact until she was almost past her, I think indicates that that was not her intention. And yes, she left the scene, but I think, she lives in that part, in that building. Not some anonymous person who's gonna disappear. This is what you'd seen her there before. She knew she lived there. It's not as if she's trying to evade responsibility. But frankly, one of the elements of malicious destruction of property is that the defendant acted knowingly, knowing that she was in the wrong, and with intent to do damage or destroy property. I don't think we have evidence that she acted wrongfully, knowingly wrongfully, or that she acted with intent to cause damage, although clearly that might have been the result. I'm asking that the felony count be dismissed.
Today was the date that was scheduled for a preliminary examination. The burden is on the prosecution to establish sufficient probable cause that a felony is committed, and that's more than mere suspicion. This is a trial, they don't have to prove each other beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a pretty low burden. It's a flexible burden, but the burden is only based off the facts and circumstances as presented at the examination. So I'm saying that to also explain that I can't consider the facts stated during a plea. They had to have been stated at an exam, and they were not. With that being said, I have one witness here, Leona Foote. She testified that on or about May 8, 2025, at the area of 401 East Willard Avenue in Lansing, Ingham County, that makes venue in this court appropriate, that she was parked outside like she does every day, waiting to pick up her 16-year-old granddaughter to drop her off at school. She testified that she left in what she believed to be enough space for people to get past her, and that she has witnessed previously other people get around her. And that at the time, the defendant, or the person she identified in court as the defendant, came up behind her, honked the horn. She said the defendant told her to move. She responded to and telling the defendant, "Wait, my granddaughter is coming." That the defendant then spoke back and said, "I'm going to report you to the landlord." At which time she says, the defendant says, she said, "Watch this," is what she believes she heard. The defendant got into the vehicle, drove around, and then sideswiped this driver's side, like it sounds like the front driver's side of the vehicle, veering, she says, only after making eye contact with the alleged victim. Said that she sustained about $1,900 in damages, that she paid a $1,000 deductible. She followed the defendant. She believed the defendant evading her in traffic. She did obtain the plate number and called 911. A couple of things that the court picked up. I think that there's a question of fact that's, I think, clear, and that needs to go to a jury. However, to your credit of your arguments, Mr. Rowley, as to is it reasonable that someone would do those things? It doesn't sound reasonable. I wouldn't pay my hard-earned money for a vehicle to go and intentionally sideswipe someone else's car and mine. That sounds crazy as I'm trying to get to work. It sounds crazy. But there was obviously, based off the witness's testimony, a honk and a request for the person to move. So that would indicate to me the person can't get around. If I could just get around, why am I stopping and honking? Doesn't make sense. The other concern is that it's possible there is an illegal parking situation. So I don't know what the size of this drive is. I don't have a picture. That's why I'm trying to get some clear understanding of what's going on. There is a request to honk. I asked her directly, "Why didn't you move?" Because she didn't want to. I don't care that she had to go around the corner to move. You're blocking a driveway, you need to move. However, was there enough space for the person to get beyond or not? That's the question that needs to be answered, and it's up for you all to have the jury answered at this point. Was there in fact enough space? And maybe it's possible other people could have got through. Everybody's not a great driver. And maybe if she was looking forward and not staring into the eyes of the victim, she could have gotten through it because there was just enough space. But in her haste, maybe, in looking over into the eyes, she could have veered accidentally. I don't know. That's a question of fact that I don't have a answer for. I know what was stated during the elicitation of the the basis for the plea. And that's also the reason why I doubled down around the trying to figure out how the cars were replaced, because during the plea, it was indicated and there was a gesture, I pulled my mirrors in. And you couldn't pull that mirror in because it's on the other side. So that wouldn't apply here unless, it wouldn't apply there. That's where it got tricky for me. With that being said, the case will be bound over to the circuit court for further prosecution. Bind over date is going to be August 26th. At the date the circuit court's going to receive the file. It's not a court date for you. Your next court date is going to be a pretrial, and the circuit court and your attorney will be made aware of that date. And so you'll stay in contact with Mr. Raleigh. Do you have any questions at this time? The bond will continue. Any additional matters for the record?
Oh, yeah.
You're all set. Thank you.
You request a transfer.